Caitlin Clark, her hands up. What the heck happened? Kelsey Mitchell drops the pass. She knows they messed up. They try to get cute. Why would you do that?
That reaction right there is more than normal frustration. It looks like a clear loss of trust happening in real time on the WNBA bench. Just look at the open space on the court, the hands on the head, and the immediate disappointment after the play. It suggests a growing disconnect between a talented rookie point guard and her head coach. The impact of this moment is changing how people view the Indiana Fever when the game is on the line. This was not just a simple mistake or a missed play. It fits a pattern where the team's late-game decisions seem to take the ball out of the hands of their most effective player. To understand how a home game against the struggling Chicago Sky ended with this level of frustration, we need to look at the key coaching and strategic decisions made in the final minutes of regulation.
Really good job. Okay, really good job. We weathered the storms. Okay, we came together. Y'all, I heard you more in huddles and in timeouts than I've heard you all year long.
That sounds like a locker room trying to rebuild confidence after almost losing a game they were clearly controlling. Head coach Stephanie White is talking about team effort and fighting through tough moments, but she is not really focusing on how Indiana lost a 19-point lead at home against a rebuilding Chicago Sky team. Instead of breaking down what went wrong, the focus is more on staying positive and surviving the situation, which raises questions about how the team is reviewing its mistakes. The truth is that the collapse in the fourth quarter happened because Indiana moved away from the offensive system that helped them build the big lead in the first place. They stopped running their main plays and started relying too much on isolation possessions. Rather than fixing those tactical problems, the message from the coaching staff seems to be focused on encouragement, which could be risky for a young team that needs to build strong winning habits.
Okay, watch this. She said AB career high 34 points. Now tell me what she said about Caitlin Clark.
Coming together and finishing this game. Yes. All right, great job. That we grew today. Yep. We grew today. I'm proud of you guys. AB career high 34 points.
Notice what is missing from that post-game speech. Stephanie White talks about Aaliyah Boston's career-high 34 points, which is a great performance and deserves credit, but she does not mention the player who helped run the offense that made many of those points possible. Caitlin Clark finished with 30 points in a double-double and also grabbed 7 rebounds, but her name was not mentioned by her coach after the game. This silence is not seen as a one-time thing by some observers. It suggests a deeper issue in how credit is given inside the team. When a star player puts up big numbers to help win after a major collapse and still does not get acknowledged, it can create tension in the locker room and make it seem like some performances are valued more than others.
I think I said this when C was drafted here. It's like when you have the bookends, when you have a point guard, and you have a center, that are special. You can build a team around that. And certainly then you add in Kelsey, who had already been here, and she had a quiet 19.
Now the strategy becomes clearer at the post-game press conference. Stephanie White shifts attention away from the inside-out offense and highlights veteran guard Kelsey Mitchell's 19 points. But if we look at the box score, Mitchell shot 7-4-17 from the field to reach that total. Her choices in the final minutes also played a role in why the game went into overtime. With less than a minute left and Indiana leading by 5, the usual approach would be to slow the game down, use the clock, and force Chicago to foul. Instead, Mitchell went for a quick, difficult layup, missed it, and Chicago scored in transition to cut the lead to 3. So presenting her as a steadying presence at the podium does not fully match what actually happened in those key late-game possessions.
You guys are forcing it to Kelsey Mitchell. Caitlin Clark is 11 of 11 from the free throw line. All you had to do was inbound the ball to Caitlin Clark. She was open. She makes the free throws. Game is over. Game is over. Y'all try to force it to Kelsey Mitchell. It goes off her leg. Now she's...
This is where the strategy breaks down when you look at it closely. Caitlin Clark was 11-4-11 from the free throw line in this game, which makes her the safest option for any late inbound play because she can be fouled and reliably score. In that situation, if she catches the ball, she goes to the line and likely closes the game with free throws and no pressure. But instead, the coaching staff reportedly ran a play that avoided getting her the ball and tried to put it in Kelsey Mitchell's hands, which led to a turnover off Mitchell's leg. Not using your best free throw shooter in a key late-game moment goes against basic basketball logic. It suggests the team was sticking to a set hierarchy instead of adjusting to what was actually working in the game. When players see decisions like this in crucial moments, it can quickly create more questions about the late-game strategy and decision-making.
Look at Caitlin Clark.
Bro, Caitlin Clark is wide open right here. She's coming wide open. Y'all just ran this inbound play. Throw the ball into Caitlin Clark, but you want to force it to Kelsey Mitchell, and look what happened.
Her hands up with the Caitlin Clark. And then Stephanie White has to explain herself after she almost cost them the game. Watch this. Instead, trying to get
Look at what
cute and
happened
get
right before that failed inbound play. Clark came into the game expecting the same sets that had worked earlier, like a simple staggered screen to free her at the top for a quick catch and a chance to get fouled. But instead, the play was changed at the last moment to shift the focus toward the baseline option. That late adjustment created confusion, led to a dropped pass, and resulted in a turnover that completely broke the possession. Clark's reaction during the timeout looked like a player frustrated with how complicated the situation had become. When a coaching staff keeps changing effective plays in high-pressure moments to force certain options, it disrupts the flow of the offense. It makes players think too much instead of just reacting, which often leads to mistakes in key situations.
You know the play. Oh my gosh, I can't even believe this. And then it gets worse. Look at the play they drew up. Throw it off the backboard? Come on. Caitlin Clark has no idea what the heck just went on.
This final play shows the main problem with Indiana's coaching approach. The inbound design ended in a desperate, off-balance shot, which suggests poor execution and a lack of awareness of the situation. When the team's main playmaker is left confused at half-court and doesn't understand the play, the issue is not just the players but the coaching and communication from the bench. This kind of approach cannot work over a full season if the team wants to compete at a high level. A 30-point, double-double performance was not properly used or highlighted, while other veteran plays that almost cost the game were given more attention. The team's best results clearly come when Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston run the pick-and-roll together, creating efficient scoring chances. When the team moves away from that system in key moments, it hurts their offense and leads to avoidable losses. Coaches are judged on how well they use their best players, especially under pressure. If the coaching staff ignores that reality, it can create tension within the team and affect long-term chemistry. Moving forward, the key question is whether Indiana will fully commit to their strongest on-court duo or continue using late-game strategies that reduce efficiency and create confusion.